Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Low Budget LCS. I just got back from work approximately 5 minutes ago, and I am joined today by the incomparable, the unstoppable, Les Force.
Had me there for a second. I thought we lost you there.
Oh no, I was. Yeah, it's fine. Um, so we have a draft here now. If you don't know about the Clowners, oh, I've got logos in here now. So, Cloud9 are an old. I forget to change stream name. It's fine. Don't worry about it. Don't even worry about it. This is a Popoba classic. Um, yeah. So, Cloud9 do not only are they, this old established org, they do something very special. They spin a wheel to determine who is going to be playing what role during the game, pregame. Now, we didn't get to see that for game one because I was on my way back from work, but we will likely get to see that for game two. Now, I don't think they're lined up in order, so I don't think we know who's going where just yet. That being said, we can talk about this draft a little bit. Last Force. What do you think right now? We do see both bot lanes. Well, what I'm expecting is bot lane already. Senna Lux versus Caitlyn Nautilus.
Yeah, I think Raging ASOLs is running a very stock standard draft here. Kate Nautilus, always a reliably strong bot lane. Vi, great for the point and click CC. Hopefully has some good follow up with the Kate and the Nautilus. Hoping to see a relatively strong damage dealing mid laner, maybe something that can pair well with the Vi, like a Syndra, an Ahri, or something like that. And then for Cloud9, like you said, total wild card team over here. Senna is really strong at the moment. It does feel pretty tough to play against. Is they're actually going to go with a Fizz blind. I hope this guy's confident on Fizz because that can definitely be a little tough to pilot depending on what Cloud9 looks to pull out.
Yeah, I'm not too familiar with the Fizz. Are there any specific Fizz counters? Also, I believe Sammy Two Slap wants me to be referred to as the hunk. So just yeah, cool.
Yeah, so my team actually, our mid laner is a Fizz main, and so anything that's safe and has CC, like a Lissandra, a Malzahar, champs like that are really good into Fizz because they can survive the lane phase and really deny a lot of what they look to do. And based on that, I'm guessing this is a Tom Kench mid, which I
I
think
no, I think the Lux is gonna go mid, and TK it's
that
gonna be
yeah.
Senna
Oh,
TK.
that's right. Lux, I mean, I guess, yeah, that's a little tougher for the Lux for sure. Definitely doesn't have the same survivability as one of those other champs, but Senna TK is a very strong lane for sure. And then the Gwen blind does make up for a lot of the damage that they may be lacking.
Sorry, this just coming in from the lobby chat. Mr. Way Too Large, Home and Garden Bragging Channel Extraordinaire, says, "My hands are so wet, shaking in my Crocs." So, just do with that what you will. And we do see the drafts finished out here. So we've got Vi jungle, Brumble top, probably Fizz mid, Nautilus, Caitlyn bot for the Raging ASOLs. Then we got a Senna TK. Now, is this Gwen jungle or Sion jungle, do you think?
Ooh, I hope for them that it's Gwen jungle. I think that Gwen jungle is still viable. Where I think Sion jungle is a little goofy. I mean, it can work, especially if they go like the phase rush, the boss special.
Well, yeah, isn't there
Um,
that whole strat where you start in the enemy jungle, and then you die to the buff, but you get the buff and the Gromp using zombie passive, and then you
Yep.
TP back or something.
Yeah, it's very much just trying to tilt your enemy jungler from the onset. Can definitely win the mental warfare game there. Um, that being said, I think it's a little easier to execute with the Gwen jungle, but we'll see what Cloud9's cooking up as. Like you said, these guys are kind of wild.
Yeah, that's for sure. I do think the fact that the game is starting does mean that we are going to be in LCS order here. So Lil Wannet going to be in the top lane, way too large jungle. Brazen Blight, Brazen Blabble. I'm a moose, and Altazi. So there's a lot of moose. There's a lot of moose names.
There
I've
are
run
a
into a
lot of
lot
mooses.
of moose summoner names.
Curious what draws people to that animal among all of them.
Yeah, it's curious. All right, I'm just gonna get everything set for in game. Okay. Boop, 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 boop.
And it looks like they're sending the Gwen top, which means we are going to see the Scion jungle.
Oh baby! All right, I'm very interested. Yeah, yeah. Where is? I thought someone you don't know was supposed to be playing. I'm devastated. Um, utterly devastated. Anyway, I'm very excited to see what Scion is going to do. Is it going to be cheese, or is it going to be something maybe a little more reasonable? Like, is it going to be standard or is it going to be cheese? That will be interesting to see. The wheel decided someone wasn't playing. Got it. The wheel is all powerful, as we know. Now, I can go ahead and get this prediction started. We're going to see if the Clowners or the ASOLs are coming out on top. All right. Now, talk to me about... Well, okay, we've talked about mid. We've talked about jungle a little bit. I'm not sure how top goes. Now that we know that this is Senna TK versus it being Senna Lux, does that change any of the calculus, you think? How is the spot lane going to go, and how is that going to affect...
Well, this lane did fare a lot better for Senna TK back when TK had the gobble on his W ability. He could eat the Senna as the Nautilus hooks in. Nowadays, I mean, you don't see Senna TK a lot in like solo duo or anything like that, but especially if TK is running Guardian, I assume it's still a relatively safe lane. TK walks up, gets the farm, uh, keeps Senna out of range of the Nautilus hook, and then Senna's obviously able to heal over top with the Q ability. But the kill pressure is still for sure on the Raging ASOL side here.
Okay. Yeah, I think this one is going to be interesting. I kind of view this one as it's a scalar game. So if Clowners are able to scale, obviously you have infinite scaling on two of your members here with both the Scion and the Senna. Gwen scales pretty well as well. So yeah, I think this might be a little bit of a scaling game. So it'll be interesting to see what Vi can get done early, what Fizz can get done early. And yeah, just see where that ends us. So I expect Vi to path bot rather aggressively. I don't think we're going to see too much action in the top, given that the Nautilus has such good gank assist. But yeah, should be fun.
I for sure agree. I think Rumble should fare pretty well. I mean, I haven't seen Rumble versus Gwen a ton, but I know Rumble can typically be a bit of a lane bully early on, and Gwen should be susceptible to getting poked out up there. That would be my educated guess how that goes. But yeah, Vi definitely has to be ahead of the pace here. Like you said, there's the infant scaling on the other side, and Vi is a champ that does not fare super well, once they're behind the pace of the game. So hopefully, the Raging A Souls are able to, keep that pace up, get some early dragons, get a gold lead early.
Yeah. Pretty classical game plan. Now, okay, that being said, is your money on the Raging A Souls or is it on Cloud9?
So, my opinion should be taken with a grain of salt, as I lost almost all my schmeckles the last time I was on cast.
Oh.
But that being said, I need to build back up the bankroll, and I'm gonna go with the opposite approach this time. Whereas last time I went with where my mind was telling me to go, which in this case would be the Raging A Souls. But because of that, I'm going against my own better judgment, and I'm putting Schmeckles down on Cloud9. Put my faith in this Scion jungle.
I will devil's advocate, and I'll say it's Raging A Souls all the way. They just have to have a clean early game, and I mean, even if Vi, I think, decides to power farm as opposed to getting that aggressive ganking tempo that she's known for early on, I think that Scion is going to struggle so much to keep up with just farming the jungle, sustain and the like, that she will be able to take over light years, especially with the farming buffs in 13.5, if she's smart about it. Now, I have been one-tricking Vi, so I am going to be giving Vi tidbits as we go through this game.
Nice. Very strong champ right now. Pretty good pick to be one tricking at the moment.
Yeah, I mean, she's doing good. I always find myself like, I'll one trick a champ, but I'm one tricking them like, it's like a new champ each season. So it was like, I did Warwick, and then I did Nunu, and then I did Trundle, and now I'm on Vi. That's the last last bit there. But yeah, we are getting into this game. Talk to me about... Oh, never mind. We are in. Are you at 6, 7, 8, 9, 10?
I'm at 22, 23.
Oh boy! 25, 26?
Yep. Yes.
Oh, goodbye! I don't know. Have you been formally introduced to the count yet?
I've tuned into the streams quite a bit, so I am familiar with the count, but never interact with them head on.
Well, hopefully you get that brunch invite. I know he likes to save them for Mighty, but he'll dole them out. Everyone. Ooh, okay. Hang on. We are going to see something here. Altazi forcing to flash away. That is just going to be a clean hook for flash.
Sometimes that's all you need on invade. Don't have to push too hard. Just get that summoner down, and makes lane just that much harder for this Senna TK here these first couple minutes.
Yeah, Sammy 2-Slap, I'm your hunk, okay, and you need to perform surgery on me. What surgery do I need? I think I'm okay. You're scaring me. Resident Doctor Sammy 2-Slap in the chat.
He knows better than you would. I mean, he's a doctor after all.
Well, okay, Altazi, having already burned the flash, says he wants more of those hooks, going in aggressive to look for that early damage potentially. Does pull them off the buff, though. So this does mean that First Blood will go over to Caitlyn, but it also means that Pachitory is going to have weird tempo.
Yeah, that's interesting. I'm curious what the thought process there was. I mean, maybe it is just trying to set this Vi behind, who's obviously now quite far back on their clear, getting to 2 minutes, just getting to their second camp. But that early gold heading over to the Caitlyn, that's certainly going to hurt off that first reset.
Yeah, it's going to be quite interesting. Obviously, that gold it's not there yet because she had to come straight to lane to get farm. So it will be relatively even in this early game. But it will be interesting to see. Yeah, I am excited. We do see both junglers pathing up, which is the opposite of what I expected. It just goes to show you what I know. I do love that the Nautilus's name, Nyquil Cold Killer.
Yeah, that's
That
pretty
puts
good.
a tickle in my heart. I'm a little bit sad that Ouroboros isn't playing some kind of snake-related champion. Given the mythological underpinnings of that particular summoner name. Alright, so... Ooh. Now they're just trading back and forth. So, talk to me... You were saying... So Lux doesn't have as many... thank you, Little Robot Man. LeChance, not on this particular cast, but he does indeed lick toes. Way Too Large has found some of that cheese. They're going to go forward. Pachatory forced to flash away, but Way Too Large is just too fast. Cancels an auto! Pachatory jumps away, but that is going to be the Ghost Burn for Way Too Large, getting the kill for themselves. So, I mean, that is a little bit of that early pathing differential coming back to bite the Vi. Now, go ahead.
Just that mental boom potentially coming out for the Vi. No one likes getting invaded that early into the game. You burn your flash, you still get killed, you lose your buff, and now you're just really far behind on the pace of the game. Is probably just gonna have to head bot scuttle. I don't think you walk top into the Sion is pretty good trading coming out there mid.
Yeah, Sion is gonna look behind, looking for Tomahawks here. Tomahawks uses the Q to get away, does not quite have the E available, is gonna be stunned up. Q not gonna land, forcing out the flash. And this Sion is making waves in the early game.
Gotta give some respect to the Sion. I was maybe sleeping on it heading into the game, but they're making some major moves here early.
Yeah, is going to look like they're going to go for the top scuttle here. Vi will secure the bot scuttle, so we'll have to look out to see if Moose and Altazi do not have a ward in that brush. Nope, Vi's going to go mid. Going to soak that wave. Oh, Ouroboros in the meantime just burns him down. That was a fast turn and burn. Okay,
Really good play there by Ouroboros, just using that early pressure on the Rumble, but not sure if they're going to be able to get away from the Sion.
No, way too large.
Way too large.
Yeah, he's bringing the girth. He's going for the... I don't think he quite has enough damage for this. Yeah, Ouroboros just going to be able to walk out of there. So that's really good. Meanwhile, it looks like bot lane are coming up to harass Pachatory. Pachatory forced from the mid lane. Is going to get hit by the Lux Binding. Can Moose follow it up with a Root of their own? No, not quite going to be available. Now Tomahawk's going to look to harass Brazen Blabble. How would you pronounce that? Lux's summoner name.
Well, I'll be honest. When I was first looking at this, I guess I must be a little illiterate. I read it as Verizon Blade, but yeah, I think Blabble is probably how it's got to be pronounced. Verizon Blabble, which is a little bit of a mouthful.
What if we just call him Blabble?
Blabble. I mean, that's easier, you know, for sure. I mean, in the LCS, technically Blabber goes by a Blabberfish, but they've condensed that one down too.
Yeah, and this is just like, it's Blabber, but minus one letter, and we just keep subtracting letters. So, you know, so this is Blabble, and then there'll be a player who's Blabble, but without the E. So it's Blobble, and then Blob, then Blah, and then Bull, and then Buh. That'll be good. Alright.
Early Dragon Take.
Yeah, very early Dragon Take here from Pachatory. By having that like self-ramping attack speed, you're just autoing one target over and over. Very useful. And Armor Shred in terms of getting those Drakes early. I was able to just sniff that one away. He is significantly down in farm though. If we look at this. 41, 29. Oh. The game's lagging a little bit. Shark in the mid lane, but that's going to be a flash away. Blabble just going to be able to stay nice and clean.
Yeah, Tomahawk's wasting absolutely no time. Gets that 6 and just instantly goes all in on the Lux, forcing that early flash.
Yeah, and so he'll have his flash back before Blabble does. They're going to spot Pachatory out on this one. Hook from Cold Killa. Not quite going to land. Now, Way Too Large is going to be here, but this is where those Sion ganks are maybe not that effective. Flash away, Altazi forces out. Now, Pachatory going to be their target, but... Ooh, Hook lands off the cupcake, but Altazi not going to be too scared about that one. Nightquill, Cold Killa going to get rooted up. Has the shield Ignite ticking, but not quite going to do enough there.
Bone Plating coming in clutch there at the absolute last moment.
Oh, bone plating. See, I don't think... I need to think about bone plating more. Because as a jungler, I never take it. Like, almost ever. Ooh, WeiTuLarge's just going to start by taking up his turret. He might not want that, and he's just going to eat one too many turret shots and give a kill right over to Homicidiac. Now Pachitory going to come here, not 6 just yet, but is able to do quite a lot of damage. WeiTuLarge's zombie threatening, but not going to be able to pick that one up.
Yeah, it's that classic situation. You gotta have a good play, and then you just immediately just stay just a little bit too long, and end up giving something right back to them. But kudos to the ASOLs for capitalizing on that little bit of over aggression there from WeiTuLarge.
Yeah, one auto from the Caitlyn was all it really took. WeiTuLarge, I probably just didn't realize he was tanking until it was too late, unfortunately. But still ahead on farm. Still, I would expect to be up gold, about up 600 gold, as opposed to the Vi counterpart. Has that kill versus the assist, has the farm differential. Top, there was a solo kill, but now it seems to be going relatively even. It looks like Lil Wannick is getting bullied off that wave, so, which is kind of what I would expect. Rumble buffs came through. I think it was Electric Harpoon that was buffed. Yeah?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Just definitely know that he's pretty strong following this recent patch.
Oh, they're looking mid. That's a flash, but not going to be able to use the Q, so is forced to use the Assault and Battery. Now that's going to be a Nautilus being able to assist, but the root means that is going to end up being a trade. Pachitory trading their life for Blabble. Now here comes WeiTuLarge, looking to get Tomahawks. He's going to find the slow. Knockup will be good, but they're still underneath the turret. One auto not quite going to do it. Ooh, but they have to be careful. They just burned their E, and he might have Q up again. He goes the wrong way! Tomahawk's flashing, getting a little fancy with it. The flying minion not quite able to do enough damage. But the wave is in, so that Blabble can come back to a wave that's not frozen on them. Sammy 2-slap. Yes, it was the Harpoon that got buffed. Thank you. A doctorate not only in... Well, actually, wait. Oh yeah, it's a medical doctorate. I'm dumb. I was going to say, is it a doctorate if it's not a PhD? But it is. Yeah.
For sure.
Wait, are there only 3 kinds of doctorates? Juris doctorates, medical doctorates, and philosophical doctorates?
That sounds about right, but I'm not nearly enough of an expert to tell you for sure one way or the other.
I'm not sure. If anyone knows of the 4th doctorate, let me know. I'd be curious. Oh, there goes the Turnit. Burn WeiTuLarge, getting just chunked down. The Equalizer really making that fight not look too equal up there in the top lane.
No, Ouroboros just doing absolutely fantastic up here. Got a 20 CS lead, has those 2 kills. Should be, I think, close to their mythic here. If they don't have it, I think they should.
They're sitting on 2k in the pocket right now. So I think that's enough to get you Night Harvester. What does Night Harvester all told cost? It's like 280. And Alternator's like 1050. Here comes the Shark. It is going to land on the moves, but Altazi is instantly going to devour them, get them underneath the turret, spit them back out. But now Altazi's going to be in trouble, forced to use that gray health, and Tomahawk's not going to eat back down, but will be able to get it with another auto. However, now Tomahawk's is quite low, but Lil Wannick going to be on the receiving end of a gank here, using that needlework. But the Assault and Battery means that you ain't going nowhere.
Good reaction time there from Altazi to immediately eat Imamoose as they got the fizzle, but just too much follow-up there from the rest of the bot lane of the ASOLs, able to get the kill there nice and easy, and then just again, this Rumble getting yet another kill in the top side.
Yeah, oh, here comes Lil Wannick, though. This is probably what you want the silent gank for. Not going to be able to land with the gank itself. It does force Homicidiac to flash away. Imamoose taking a bit of damage here. Big knockup going in onto both of them. Imamoose just looking to do the damage over the top. Not quite able to. Homicidiac using the heal, though. Nyquil Cold Killer gonna be stunned up, gonna be bonked into the air, and now they're gonna force to flash away. They're onto the blast turret. They were able to get out, but now Homicidiac is running for their lives. Altazi here to join the chase. One slow lands. The root does not quite, but here comes the axe. It swings from overhead, and the catfish is gonna feast, and that's a shutdown.
We'll see if they're able to make it out here as Tomahawks is on the prowl. Probably looking for the Senna.
Yeah. That root will go ahead and... Oh, they want more. Ouroboros is down here. Equalizer is available. You're fighting in such a short corridor. This could be disaster. It goes down onto the Moose. The Moose taking so much damage. The Flame Spitter is empowered, and that is going to be a dead Senna. Luxalt coming down over the top and not going to do too much damage to Ouroboros here. Now, though, Tahm Kench Eltazi wants it. Diving in, uses the Grey Health. Stunned up on the Fizz. Shut down, going over the zombie in the jungle. Now Ouroboros looking for those cooldowns. Can only use a couple of spells while that heat bar is up, but over the wall. Going to be knocked back up. Going to be stunned up. Binding not quite going to hit, but over the top. The Catfish is going to be able to pick up another one. And now they continue to fight behind this turret. Homicidiac going to be careful, but they are going to be knocked up by the depth charge. Here goes Assault and Battery into the back line. Way too large, taking a ton of damage, but he does have that Scion passes. Managed to get one less stun up, but Eltazi has the ult back up. He eats Way Too Large, and now Way Too Large can fight again another day. He looks to slow them down. He looks to find a knock up, and Patchatory will fall. They're underneath the turret yet again. Way Too Large and Blabble looking to do the damage. Homicidiac quite low. Oh no, it's huge over the wall. The E is found. NyQuil Cold Killer, though, is going to go in deep. They will all fall, and Senna comes in for the second or third time that fight. Oh my goodness.
And when I nope, Fizz gonna walk away. I think might get this Lux here in transit, but no, don't think they're getting out.
That was the longest fight I have seen in a while. Do you have any idea how long? Does anyone in chat know how long was that going for? It was like a solid 2 minutes of fighting.
That had to have been at least like a minute and a half. I mean, Senna had time to be in the fight initially, die, respawn, shoot the ultimate, and then walk all the way back from their spawn. Like that, I just love the comms there from Cloud9. Like they have no fear of being underneath, like right in that no man's land between ASOL's towers. They just don't even care. Their Lux came up Verizon Blabble, just no hesitation.
3 minutes and 20 seconds of just keep fighting, and on that mark, we have the Equalizer being dropped down, but Way Too Large takes very little damage, having completed the entire Take Mythic, and Lil Wanek just being able to cut down the Yordle in a mech. I was gonna do Snake, but he's not a snake. But his name is a snake. Too long for Twitch clips. We'll have to break that one up into its own video. My goodness, they're going to trade Dragon for top turret. I like that here from Cloud9. Getting a little bit of that macro and saying, hey, you know, we had a great fight. Honestly, I think Cloud9 got a lot more out of that fight than Raging ASOLs did because you have the scale and composition and you got so much money. And there's an Inting Scion play on these scaling champs.
That's going to be 2 top.
Yeah, so that's 2 top turrets for a drag. Ooh, the offensive eat now being used on a NyQuil Cold Killer. Lots of damage being done down. Homicidiac trying to focus down Moose so that Moose can't quite step forward to find the kill. Oh, and now Lil Wanek. Your friend died to kill the turret, and so you shall die in recompense.
And there's just so much going on here. It's hard to keep pace with all the back and forth shenanigans we're seeing.
Yeah, absolutely. Moose and Eltazi looking to do the damage in here. Can I get a Senna stack check? Can you tell me how many stacks Senna has?
Senna is at 57.
Ooh, flash forward. Tomahawk's looking to do the damage. Uses the Q. Finds the Ignite, but Barrier goes down. I don't think it's quite going to be enough. The ult doesn't have time to tick through, and Tomahawks finds themselves a solo kill.
Just so close, but so far there for Blabble there in the mid lane. Just that last tick of the Ignite doing them in.
Okay, so you were saying the Senna stacks?
Now they're at 58 at 16-ish minutes, which is not crazy, but it's respectable.
Yeah, it's not too high. Shenanigans is a good word for it. Okay, but now we do see Ouroboros coming down here on the bot side. Eltazi is going to be the target of the Nautilus Hook, but meanwhile, Ouroboros looking for a solo kill on Deed here in the back end, and that Flame Spitter is just going to be too much for him to handle. Meanwhile, Eltazi is 1v2ing Homicidiac and NyQuil Cold Killer, looking to go in, looking to dodge, uses the Grey Health, trying to find a kill, find something to trade back, but NyQuil Cold Killer just going to walk away. A little lobster icon dangling there for him. Actually, that's probably crayfish, right?
Yeah, I think so. Man, this Ouroboros is just a menace in this game, just going everywhere on the map, getting kills, racking up the gold, and just pumping out that damage on this kind of cracked Rumble at the moment.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't need to be top lane. There's no turrets there for him to defend, so he'll just go wherever. You know, drop your equalizer, get your gold, reset. Currently sitting on another 1,600 gold, so that's probably going to be another needlessly large rod, unless he's going to
There it is.
There's 76 professional doctorate degrees and only 18 in research degrees. Huh.
A lot more than 3.
But okay. But when you say that, is it like a PhD in blank? Because I'm just gonna categorize all PhDs as the same thing. Okay, here comes the assault and battery going in up the Blabble. Pachatory not gonna get hooked up under the turret this time, but Ult's gonna go down over the top, and that's gonna be Haya Moose with a stunning amount of damage on the Senna ultimate.
Just not quite on the same page there. Tomahawks was pretty far back, and by the time that Vi goes all in, Fish just isn't in range to hit that ultimate. I think it would have been a good look, but just a really good follow-up there from Moose. As now they're going in.
Talking about Tomahawk, though, they are going to find a clean kill with the Shark. Now Lil Wannick looking to trade something back, but Nightquill Coldkilla is here to provide a staggering amount of CC. Lil Wannick, though, going to find quite a bit of snip damage nonetheless. Tomahawk's going to be forced to retreat, but now Ouroboros is here. Equalizer available, as is First Strike. Way Too Large, going to get burned a little bit. But Way Too Large just doesn't seem to care.
This guy is awfully beefy at this stage of the game. Got those mercs, got the Jack Show.
Yeah, looking probably to go for some... Actually, he's been on Jack Show for a while. Hasn't he?
I'm not sure. I know he's had the Bambi for a while. I think he built that first and then went into the Jack Show.
Yeah. So hasn't spent in quite some time. I expect there to... Yeah, he's got... Oh, okay, only 1,200 in the pocket, but that's still quite a bit. Pachatory not going to be found by the root, but will be knocked up there as Altazi and Way Too Large look for the damage. But meanwhile, Tomahawk's going into the back end. I Am Moose forced to run away. Pachatory looking to do the damage. Way Too Large with the assist and the peel for their 80 carry. Now Pachatory using that assault and battery, but the Senna just barely stays alive. Meanwhile, on the other end, Blabble and Wannick gonna be in a little trouble as Homicidiac, Ouroboros, and Nightquill Killa are looking to chase him down, but that root is gonna land, and now Altazi's going in. That is going to be a bonk up, and that is going to be a dead man from the depths. Now this dragon is almost assuredly gonna go into the pockets of Cloud9, but meanwhile, hang on, Lil Wannick is getting boosted up, then that is an overcharged rumble, but Altazi is gonna make sure that he can't go nowhere, and I Am Moose helps them deal damage to take this one down.
Man, I'm loving this teamwork from Cloud9. I thought that Moose was for sure a goner there as soon as the TK and the Scion are attacking the Vi. Fist is able to get on the back line, but just the immediate ultimate from Way Too Large to come back and save the Senna, who's able to keep that damage up through the remainder of that fight there. Really love to see it.
Yeah, absolutely beautiful. Always be thinking about your carries, if you're a beef boy, because someone needs to do damage over the top of you. Tomahawks, though, looking for the damage, is able to find the Chum the Waters going over that route, and I Am the Moose cannot save them. Rhizome Blabble just going to get killed. Now TP coming in, Way Too Large, trying to burn down this dragon. Who's going to go to is going to be able to find the smite, but now Way Too Large finds themselves in the middle of the floor. Equalizer going out on top, and they are just going to sacrifice the zombie for the Drake. PhD is a research doctorate in philosophy. Okay. Side-E. Okay, there are side-Es. Yes. Wazak, we are not planning on streaming CJs, BJs. It is not actually on the streaming schedule. So, pro tip, if you are a player in chat or you're a captain in chat, make sure to submit your games to the streaming schedule. That way casters know what games are going on when. Because if it's not in the streaming schedule, it's not going to get streamed. Unless you spam my DMs. I'm working on that technology, but being that I am a clone of Ol No Name, who is themselves a clone of I forget the hierarchy. I don't have the higher level cognitive capabilities that my clone progenitors do. Is what I'll say for that. Alright, so talk to me about this game state. I think... Oh, clone of Ol No Name. Thank you. Yes. For some reason, someone you don't know an Ol No Name... You're a clone... Yeah. No. I'm a clone of someone you don't know. And someone you don't know, you're a clone of... Ol No Name. We're just vocal clones? I thought we were clones. God, this, Learning who you're cloned from is it's such a process.
Can't be easy on the mind there. But no, you're asking how the state of this game was. I mean, we may not even have any time here. It looks like Altazi able to deny that fizzle. This is a bit of a fiesta. A lot of bloodshed here. Gold is relatively even, which I think favors Cloud9 as we're about to see a big fight here.
Yeah, Brazen Blabble going to be chopped up by the Assault and Battery, but is so far able to walk out of there. Chum the Water's not going to be available. Fizz going to try and do the damage anyway, and they're going to be able to find it. Altazi taking him up. I am the Moose trying to do damage over the top, but they just don't have the other members of their team. Way Too Large, who is so much of the gold for Cloud9, is in bot lane with the Rumble. And while the Rumble has a lot of the gold for the side of Raging A-Souls, it looks like Patchor are going to go incredibly low. The minion auto is going to take it. Meanwhile, Lil Wanik was 1v2ing on the bot side. There goes the ultimate. Gwen's immune, not quite available. Altazi looking to help. Does manage to find a Tunlick onto Tomahawks. Chum the Water's now available, but Lil Wanik just going to be able to dodging out of the way. Altazi going to be on the blast gun, going to go over towards the Fizz, but you might not want that. Homicide Yak looking to do damage. Altazi is quite the menace. And they're going to have a couple of deaths, but they're going to hold on in this mid lane fight here.
Yeah, that fight ended up being a lot better for Cloud9 than I thought it was going to be. But I mean, you have to consider that ASOS didn't have the Rumble that whole time, which is, in my opinion, kind of the strongest member of the ASOS at the moment as fighting under tower.
Yeah, okay, ult traded for ult. The Sign is going to run towards mid lane. Oh, and the wave gets here in time to bail him out, but he's just going to walk through. Going to take a little bit of damage because of the Sunfire Cape. Now Tomahawk's looking to do damage, and they are going to be able to find that. So, Way Too Large. Passive going to activate. Going to get off maybe a couple of dinks here on the enemy team, but nothing too much. As here comes Chum the Water's Blabble. Going to be in trouble, but that is going to be a root up onto Tomahawk in return, but not enough damage. Patchwork. Oh, no, I'm sorry, I missed it. Altazi ate them, so they're going to live. But now I Am the Moose is going to be traded in recompense as Patchatory finds them out. I have had a banana thrown at me.
Unfortunately, Tahm Kench can only eat one of his carries, and he eats the Lux, which A-Souls immediately just dive in on the Senna there. No way for her to escape, and that looks like that's going to be a pretty free Baron here with Sion down.
Yeah. Tomahawks wants more. Tomahawks wants the kill, and they are going to find it. That Q does a disgusting amount of damage. Whew. You know, I was going to ask you a couple minutes ago, you know, things look like they're going so well for Cloud9. How do Raging A-Souls get back in this game? I think we found our answer. Just kill them.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes it's really that simple. Now they've got a pretty decent gold lead here, about 3,000. They should have control over this dragon. I think if I'm Cloud9, I don't try to fight them over this one. But knowing that you know, they probably feel like they're pretty close in the game, I wouldn't be surprised if they just keep going blow for blow as they have been pretty much all 25 minutes of this game.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't expect them to lessen up on constantly fighting at all, as it looks like they are prepping for a 5v5 around the Dragon Pit. That is going to be a big double knock up on both Homicide and Nyquil Killa. Nyquil Killa going to be rooted up, and Lil Wanik looking to do damage here. Meanwhile, Altazi gets taken quite low. Tahm Kench does have the Q to heal off of. Ouroboros looking to do the damage. Altazi going to eat someone up to keep them alive. I Am the Moose going to be the recipient of that shield, but they are going to be just absolutely popped by Tomahawk. Tomahawk finding 2. Tomahawk looking for 3, but Way Too Large going to knock him up for now. Lil Wanik going to be the target of that ultimate. Tomahawks does not care. They will not be immune inside of the Shroud. That's going to be a triple kill for this fish. Way Too Large going to be the last member standing for Cloud9, and they are just going to get removed from the map. Tomahawks did so much.
I mean, now he's got that 700 gold bounty. Probably going to be on 3 items here when he's recalls. It was pretty well fought there, though, considering that they were down 3k and the A-Souls had the Baron buff. I mean, I think that Way Too Large and Altazi played that pretty well, but just that unfortunate power that the Baron provides now puts them down a little bit more in gold, and now they're facing that soul point, unfortunately.
Yeah, I mean, you've got these beefy boys for the side of Cloud9, but they're just not quite able to peel the Fizz because he's just so slippery on this champion. Now, can I get another Senna stack check?
So we are at a 93 now at 27 minutes. So they've gotten about 40-ish in about 11 minutes. That's a pretty solid ratio.
Yeah, And what is it? It's every 20 or 25 souls that Senna hits a breakpoint for like
Every 20.
every 20. Oh, Tomahawk going in is not going to hit the Chum of the Waters, but it might not matter. Brazen Blabble going to take so much damage. Ultimate coming down to the top. That shield will not be enough. Tomahawks with the assist from Homicidiac are just going to be able to delete Lux underneath the tier 1 turret. Or tier 2.
If I'm Cloud9, I probably don't want to see the Fizz the rest of this series here. Tomahawks is just absolutely lethal on it. But that's what happens when you go into these very squishy champs like a Lux, like a Senna.
Yeah. And to their credit, I think Cloud9 have played the game quite well. I mean, Way Too Large having an absolutely stellar performance on this Jungle Scion, which I know both of us were a little bit skeptical on, but you know, looking at this, I'm like, you know, I should play some solo queue Jungle Scion. That sounds like a good time. Way Too Large, looking to go aggressive here, does have the Unstoppable Onslaught, but they're just going to be grouped up so tightly that the Ouroboros damage is too much of a dissuader.
Yeah, probably just gonna walk this out. Maybe have a little bit of a lull state here for the next minute or two, which would be a bit of change of pace for how the rest of this game's gone. But games should still be firmly in the hands of the Ace Souls here.
Yeah, Ace Souls looking good with it. 5K-ish gold lead. Yeah, a little more, 5.6, and you know, they are gonna be chilling. Now, one of the things that I do think, if I'm Cloud9 here, and I am Moose, I am Blobble, I want Magic Resist. Because, yes, the Vi does some damage, and yes, Caitlyn does damage, but really what you're contending with is that Equalizer and the Fizz every single fight.
No, for sure, and I'm sure in their minds that they're saying it's hard to, you know, go away from getting like that Death Cap or Shadow Flame or those, you know, fun damage dealing items, but having damage items doesn't do you any good if you're dying right on the spot. I'd also like to see a Knight's Vow maybe coming out from the Tahm Kench. Try to you know, soak some of that damage on probably the Senna specifically.
Yeah, Tahm Kench really wealthy here. 10k gold in his pocket, up there with, you know, pretty average in terms of itemization. 3 full items completed here versus just the 1 for the Senna. Obviously, it's support Senna, so you will be on more of the economy budget. Looks like they are going to start making preparations for this Baron.
Definitely good comms. Setting up vision there, walking in as a group.
Yeah. Cold Killer just looking to dissuade Way Too Large from clearing out that wave. I think the slam did go down. Who's going to pick up a couple of more souls? Yeah, and they are going to go ahead and pick up an objective bounty. I think that was 205 gold per person there, so about a 1,000 gold if just picked up in a split second. Ooh, double binding found with that over the top. Homicidiac will be chunked to half. Uses the heal there. Ouroboros there doesn't really want to let him get away with it. Might go Cold Killer.
Gotta be careful,
maybe on the back line. Look out for the Chum of the Waters. It's going to go down. It is not quite going to hit. Brazen Blobble going to run away, but the Assault and Battery will let Ouroboros take him down. Moose going to be found by Tomahawks, and now it is just Altazi. Way Too Large. Lil Wannick. But Lil Wannick splitting bots, so it's just Altazi and Way Too Large left in this mid lane. They are doing quite a lot of damage, but there's just a little bit too much. Altazi is going to find the shutdown onto Tomahawks. This Tahm Kench Lick packs a punch. Flash over the wall means that they're going to stay alive for now. Running, popping gray health. Snipe, not quite going to hit. Q goes forward. Assault and Battery, not going to be available. Nyko Cold Killer should mean that this is one dead catfish, and the Raging Ace Souls go noodling.
And they played that fight really well, but they just were at a numbers disadvantage the whole time. Gwen was just split pushing bot, and they weren't able to get to that tier 2 in time, which is where that wave was at. You know, maybe they were trying to get like an objective bounty there was the call, but Rumble's able to TP back in time, and so it just ends up being a pretty good fight for the Raging Ace Souls, and that's going to be the Ocean Soul for them.
Yeah. And this is going to make it much, much harder to get through Nyko Cold Killer. Honestly, to get through Ouroboros. um, to get through Pachitory. And it's going to make these more long, drawn out fights just even better for the side of Raging Asols.
Good on Altauzi there to get the shutdown on Tomahawks. Definitely that Tom Kench getting even richer now. There's about 1,000 gold there in his pocket.
Yeah. Now we are going to see Worm fight here. Tomahawk and Ouroboros leading the charge. Now, if you are Cloud9, how are you winning this game? What's your comms?
I think you gotta be as a group of 5. I think that last fight could have gone really good in their favor if they have the Gwen there to provide some damage. But now that they've got the Soul, I think you have to be grouped up. I think Gwen isn't quite strong enough to complete 1v9 on the side waves, as they have Tom on the other side of the map with Baron starting up.
Yeah. Way too large. Gonna look to find Tomahawk. Is half health here. Tomahawk forced to flash out, allowing I Am the Moose to maybe get a little bit more aggressive, but the Ouroboros damage is just so high. They're going to box him out of the pit, and the Baron Nashor will fall, and now they can look to hit Brazen Blabble, just soloed by the Equalizer, and now the burn is going to go on to Way Too Large, uses the ultimate, finds a bit of a bippity-boppity-boop, but it's not going to be enough. The zombie will fall, and 2 members of Cloud9 are left to pick up the pieces.
And that time it was Altauzi who just wasn't around for the objective big team fight. He was walking up from bot lane trying to get that shoved in, but now that's a Baron, that's a Soul. Quite a big gold lead here, getting up to close to 9,000 or 8,000. Math's not too good, but yeah, not looking great for him here. See if they got something cooking up.
Yeah. Mid lane just going to be shoved in here. Probably just looking to get it with your Baron push. We'll see how far they can go. Altauzi's arch nemesis really is this Rumble there now. Meanwhile, Pachitory going in the back line using the Assault and Battery onto I Am the Moose, but is taking quite a bit of damage. I Am the Moose finds a knockup, but Pachitory going to be a little bit too healthy for that one. The Ocean Soul coming in, healing them up. 10,000 gold, smacking them with the wallet. Root goes down, but it does not matter. There is so little damage here. Ouroboros just going to go forward. Needlework going to slow him down a little bit. Maybe dissuade it. Now Lil Wannick, though, steps maybe a foot too far forward. Homicidiac going to be able to pick that one up. Blabble looking to try to do it, looking to try to save the game, but these are some beefy boys with an ocean behind them. That is going to be game 1 for Raging Asols.
Really nice performance there. Definitely got to shout out Ouroboros there on the top side on that Rumble. I think it's a little less flashy than the Fizz was proven to be in those team fights, but just pumping just tons of damage with that Equalizer and the overheat there for the Rumble.
Yeah, and a really back and forth game with honestly my favorite fight that I've seen so far this season, a low budget LCS. Absolute, I would say, MVP performance from Ouroboros on the Rumble. Finding a lead in top lane. So you're in top lane, you're in that isolated 1v1. You get yourself a lead, and then you translate it to the rest of the map.
It's exactly what we all want to see from the top laners, and just unfortunately don't get to see too often play out.
Yeah, but now we do get to see the wheel spin, hopefully. Can we see wheel spin? We'll see if someone wishes to share this generous boon with us.
Now, do the players themselves get respun? Will we maybe get to see someone you don't know this game, or is it just strictly game 1 decides who's gonna be playing the whole series?
I think they spin each game, so all 7 of them show up, and then they just finish spinning. Okay, I'm getting it hot off the presses. Someone you know is in my DMs right now with the answer. I just want to know who's playing. I want to know.
Mountain.
I imagine they're going to try to let everyone play at least once, unless they just really want to leave it up to chance. Okay, here you go. They just finished spinning again, and we have the rolls. In the top lane, we have Moose. In the jungle, Swag Sidon. That is a new addition from last game. Now in the mid lane, featuring Way Too Large, Scion Jungle Extraordinaire. At AD carry, we have my vocal clone, Mr. Someone You Don't Know. And at support, we have Blabble. Now, given these lane assignments, the only person I think we could see a repeat for... I mean, we could see Senna top. I doubt it, but we could.
Not sure how effective that'd be, but yeah, I mean, we just saw Scion Jungle, which to be fair, we were sleeping on. We didn't think it'd have that big an impact, and Way Too Large was kind of carrying that early to mid game for Cloud9. So if they do bust out the center top, I might give them a pass.
So yeah, so many beautiful decimating smashes coming in from Way Too Large that game. Absolutely made me rethink Scion Jungle as a concept. So, very, very good on his part. And very, very good for all the players, Everyone's out here trying, gaming, and we're going. So, hopefully we're going to get a lobby here for game 2. I do see that someone is creating a custom game. So hopefully we'll get in that lobby. So, draft adaptations, all right, for Cloud9. I'm assuming we want to see a Fizz ban, but what else do we want to see?
I mean, in terms of everything, obviously the Rumble piloted by Ouroboros was a major problem, but maybe that's something that they could look. I don't, of course, don't know what I Am a Moose's champ looks like top, but maybe could play something a little more aggressive into the Rumble and try to stand toe to toe with him. Maybe that's an angle. I think they had pretty good peel and disengage with the Silent Tom Kench, but they didn't necessarily have a great engage. It wasn't like they had that Nautilus or the Vi or something that could start the fights. So they were always kind of fighting on ASOL's terms. So maybe I'd like to see something a little bit more in that realm for Cloud9.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. I would expect... it'll be interesting to see who is on what side. It looks like it's blue side again. Also, I don't know if... There you are. It looks like they're going to be blue side. So, red side again for the Raging ASOLs. Probably not too many draft adaptations, other than they're going to likely have to find something different for their mid laner.
Yeah, I mean, I can just imagine if I'm on Cloud9 side, just Fizz is just one of those champs that's so not fun to play into in their head. And so even if maybe they have an answer into Fizz, I think that's probably just going to be a little bit of a tilt ban more than anything.
Yeah, I mean, if it's a ban for the mental is still a good ban. Oh yeah, Camp Sada. So this is delayed. It's a 3-minute spectator delay, which is what the League client makes you do. But other than that, I have a pretty short delay on my stream, so what you're seeing is happening, I think, only a couple seconds after it happens for me. But yeah. Cats is having a fun time with blinds behind me. Alright. Just gonna wait for the pick ban on game 2. You have a good Sunday? Do anything fun?
So last night, me and Ev Dingus, who's well known around the league, a couple other buddies were up quite late playing some ARAM, enjoying some Coriander. So today was a bit more of a sit back and relax type day.
Got it. Yeah.
Yeah, he convinced us to stay up
A
till
little bit
about
of
4 a.m. Yeah.
Oh boy, that's quite
fair,
the
that's
night of
with
Coriander.
That's with the daylight savings, so have to account an hour for that, but that doesn't make it much better, to be honest. But now, what about you? Anything interesting today?
Oh, I'm in the middle of something at work, so I'm going into work every day for forever. So I was just at work and then here. That's all good. It's a great way to cap off a Sunday. Streaming some low budget LCS. Ooh. Right. Something I didn't pay attention to last game was the bans. It was one more game 6 times. That's how Dingus gets you. Oh, you love to see it. Were you guys playing in LBLCS or are you playing somewhere else?
Wait, what?
Were you like in LBLCS voice channels or were you?
Oh no,
hanging
so
out?
Ev Dingus is Team Volatility's AD carry this
Oh,
split. So we
right.
were playing with several members of our squad.
Team Volatility. Or as I like to call them, Filility.
Love
Your
that
friend
shout
just.
out from Krem Talk. Yeah, we were
Yeah,
just going on to
hell
it.
yeah. Or. Hell yeah, brother. Bring that positive energy over here and watch some games. Ah, there you go. Okay. Can we get a draft link? I don't think a draft link exists yet. So. Cool. But yeah. Just work for me. I took one of my roommates to the airport. Yeah.
The call to arms. Nobody loves making those airport shuttles, but it definitely gets you some solid brownie points when you do it.
Oh yeah. Well, and as someone who had traveled previously, it's like it's so nice just to have a buddy drop you at the airport versus having to take a Lyft or an Uber.
Mhm.
Um, yeah. Okay, but what I want to talk about. So bans from last game. What? So Cloud9 banned Xayah, Leona, and Shen. Um, what out of that rotation are you omitting so that you can get your Fizz ban through?
I'd probably keep the Xayah. Xayah's just really strong in the bot lane position right now. Personally, as a as a support main, I kind of don't think you need to ban Leona. I think just in general, engage supports don't feel that great to me, especially like Leona and Nautilus are like the ones that you really put yourself in harm's way, where like it's a one-way trip. Plus, we just saw last game that they're able to pilot the Nautilus and do just as well on that. So I think I'd probably omit the Leona ban. Although also with the Shen, it just depends on how scared you are of that level 6.
I feel like on one hand with the Shen, I feel like you leave it up because then maybe Ouroboros picks the Shen instead of the Rumble, and then you don't have to deal with that Rumble, which was terrifying. Um, but maybe his Shen is just also cracked, right? So it's entirely possible that you leave the Shen up and now you realize why you should have banned it in the first place. Looks like they are going to stick with that Leona ban for now. That's going to go through. Going to have to see what the ASOLs respond with. They are talking about it.
It's worth noting that they didn't ban the Xayah first this time, which was their first ban last game. So maybe they're either looking to first pick that, or maybe they're looking to just outright omit it, as we do see that Fizz ban coming through.
Yeah, Fizz ban, about what we expected. I think Alawi ban was the same maybe as last time, although different people, so I can't recall. I think Alawi was banned. Maybe it's just they don't want to play against Alawi. They don't care who's in that lane or if they play it.
Every buddy who's ever played top lane has like that one or two champs that they just cannot play into. No matter what champ they're piloting, it's just Alawi. I feel like is a pretty frequent answer for that on that top lane island. Just a pretty unfun champ to play against.
Yeah. Okay, they're gonna ban the Xayah as well, so they're taking their bet on the Shen. They're saying Okay, put your star DPS player on Shen and then fight us. Is kind of the gambit that they're making there.
Yeah, I wonder
Speaking
what
of
the answer
gambits,
there from Cloud9 is. Assuming that they're going to pick the Shen, hopefully they've got some kind of good answer for it later on in the draft.
I totally got pulled into the latest chess craze. Speaking of gambits, that's been happening. So if anyone at LBLCS wants to play chess, I'm bad, but that just means you can probably beat me. So that's my pitch there.
Sounds like some free serotonin there.
Yeah. Dr. Mundo going to be locked in here instantly for the Moose up here in the top lane.
I would imagine that does pretty well into the Shen, able to negate the taunt pretty much every time, and then I feel like the trades afterwards should be pretty fine for the Mundo. So maybe that's like almost like a bluff, daring the ASOLs to pick the Shen into it.
Yeah. So the thing that I think would be hard with Mundo Shen is you don't have any hard CC then for if Shen is using his ultimate. Not the end of the world, obviously, but yeah, I think they're gambiting that he's not gonna pick the Shen. Kaisa gonna be picked up. So maybe Trundle. That's probably Trundle top, no? Seeing a Trundle so early and not Trundle meta, I am excited because as I was mentioning, I mained Trundle last season, and if I can play Trundle again, if Trundle looks good, I will play Trundle.
I find Trundle to be a ton of fun in the jungle. That's my secondary role, so definitely like seeing Trundle. I think it's a pretty good pick in Mundo, and even if it's not in lane, I think that's a pretty automatic ult usage pretty much every time.
Yeah, more God, I gotta be picked up here for the side of Cloud9. Caitlyn not gonna be available. Yeah, the last time I played Trundle this season, there was a Heimerdinger on the enemy team, and I just couldn't play the game because if I tried to walk in, I just got Heimer turreted, and it made me sad.
This is a tough bot lane to play into. Sivir Morgana just really just denying the threat of a potential engage coming here from NyQuil Cold Killer.
Yeah. Double spell shield, just gonna say you're not touching us. You're not picking an engagement. So Lux gonna be picked up there. Could be flex mid, could be flex bot. I feel like that's more of a mid Lux. I feel like you usually want those engaged champs or Kaisa, but I think because the way Kaisa's ultimate works, right? They have to be tagged either with her W or with CC, right? But Lux binding would count as CC. So,
yeah, it could be support, but like you said, I definitely think Kaisa fares a lot better with the engage style champs. I'm tentatively guessing that's a Lux mid, and maybe we see something like a Rel or an Alistar or something like that coming out for the Ace Souls, but they could prove us wrong.
Yeah, that would absolutely be my read as well. So we've got the Rumble coming out here from. I mean, the Rumble ban. Sorry. Oh boy, coming out from Cloud9. Just gonna make sure Ouroboros doesn't get his hands on that one because it could be Trundle jungle. I think it's Trundle top, but it could be Trundle jungle. Absolutely.
You don't see a ton of Trundle top these days, but if you're gonna see it, it's gonna be into that Mundo.
And if you're gonna see anything where you don't expect it, see last game with Sion. It's gonna be in the low budget LCS. I mean, honestly, hot take. I think the low budget LCS is where all the top tier, meta enjoyers like LS come. They come here and they look at what we're doing and they think, does that work? Screw Champions Crew, screw high elo. It's the low budget LCS. That's where real innovation happens.
Yeah, this is where the real theory crafting occurs. There's a Victor, so it's almost certainly going to be a Lux mid or a Lux support rather, with the Victor going mid.
Okay, hear me out. Victor top.
It's not. I mean, I feel like that's going to be pretty. Could get a lot of free procs into the Mundo. Pretty safe, I would imagine, but not sure how effective it's going to be. I'm glad this is going to be my first Victor cast. I know that's a a frequent point of discussion here in the LBLCS.
Yes, as we like to say here, if you are new to the low budget LCS, there is no correct Victor build. It doesn't exist. The Victor build is always wrong. We just have to figure out why. Gnar and Vigar gonna be the two rounding out this draft here for Cloud9. So I think we got baited. That is a Mundo jungle.
Yeah, I don't think Gnar jungle works very well. So almost certainly gonna be Mundo jungle, which I know a couple seasons ago was a pretty meta pick, and then Malphite just that safe option into the Gnar top side.
Yep. Malphite, staple of top laners for counterpick everywhere. Although I always feel like it's a little hard when you save counterpick for someone and then they just pick. Counterpick can be a very, very strong tool in terms of gaining an advantage in the 1v1. I think Malphite certainly accomplishes a number of things for this team, including engage, which I think they were sorely missing other than a sneaky pick by Lux or a Trundle Pillar. But it's not going to have that sort of wow 1v1 hyper carry damage effect like we had from the Rumble last game.
No, that's definitely something that when me and my team came into the LBLCS, it's something we kind of had to learn the hard way, was properly utilizing that R5 counter pick. There would be several times where we would save that pick and we just end up picking like a Shen or another tank like that, and it most of the time felt pretty bad because you could have picked that a lot earlier and saved counter pick for one of your carries. But maybe the ASOLs have something in the works. Maybe there's a reason they picked this Malphite. Like maybe it's a full AP for all I know, and it's just gonna be dealing massive damage on that Sivir Morgana.
Yeah. I will be excited to see how the Sivir Morgana lane goes. Both of these bot lanes feel a little off kilter. Sivir Morgana makes a lot of sense because it feels very safe, but the dark binding sort of more engage aspect of Morgana doesn't. It works with Sivir. I think maybe a little bit better than Lux Kai'Sa does. But for me, Morgana, usually I think of something maybe a little bit more aggressive, something that needs the shield in order to live, something that likes that CC being able to come down over the top, which not that Sivir doesn't. Everyone loves the CC. But Lux Kai'Sa, I'm interested to see how this plays out. Now, maybe we see something super spicy, like Kai'Sa goes AP, and then you hit a Lux binding and you lose your whole health bar to Lux R Kai'Sa W.
Man, that would be something. No, like you said, these bot lanes are pretty disjointed to me. I feel like more so on the ASOL side. I can see where the Lux can maybe work with Kai'Sa, but I think it's just a lot easier to execute in those mid to late game team fights when you have just like this big burly engage that can kind of go in and do that, rather than the Lux we're going to be seeing. And then, like you said, on Cloud9 side, the Sivir Morgana, I've seen this lane before, and it does okay. But like you said, you really want something like a Caitlyn or like a Lucian or something that can like aggressively go in following the binding.
Yeah, I do think part of what we're probably seeing here from Cloud9 though is that individual levels of comfort. Again, they're asking every single member of their team every single game to be ready to play any one of these 5 roles. So we are seeing everything go about where we expected. Malphite going top, Trundle jungle, Victor mid, Kai'Sa 80 carry, and Lux support. Mundo going at the jungle over the side of Cloud9. Now, looking at these comps, who wins?
I mean, looking at these comps, I think a lot of pressure is on Moose up in the top lane to be this crazy engage tool for Cloud9. I mean, again, Mundo's not. He can go in and he can soak up a lot of damage, but that's just not a champion that's going to be able to start fights necessarily. You've got some good, catching CCs with the Veigar Cage, with the Morgana binding, Morgana ultimate. Again, last game I bet on Cloud9 and I was incorrect, but I think for the sake of fun and getting this to a 3-game series, I think we're going to see Cloud9 take the dub here. See some crazy Morgana Qs coming out from Blavel, and we'll head on to game 3.
Okay. Yeah. I'm going to play devil's advocate. I think that Raging Aesol showed us last game just how good they were with the early game, and given that, again, Cloud9 appeared to, again, pick the scaling composition. Not that I think Raging Aesol is particularly early game, but I think they both have the agency, and I absolutely believe in Tomahawk to be a menace on this Victor, even if you don't have that additional damage coming down from the Malphite.
It's definitely a different style of gameplay here, though, for sure. Tomahawk's going from the all-in assassin to more of the stay-back control mage. Curious to see if they're able to pilot this style just as well as they did game one. And then Pachatory, like you said, really did a good job last game of kind of dictating the tempo on the Vi. Even though the gold state was relatively even, despite how bad the early game started out for Vi. But we'll see if they're able to kind of do it on the Trundle as well, which is a little harder to have that early tempo, I would say. But you're the former Trundle expert, so I'll defer to you on that one.
Trundle shines when he is allowed to bonk you and he has Sunderer. So getting that early kill, I mean, if I'm Trundle here, the spell shields in bot are very useful against Lux. They are not as useful against Trundle Pillar. Gnar's a little bit slippery early on to gank, so I would say Trundle probably wants to path down, look either mid or bot for the first gank. Once he gets Sunderer, though, just a couple of auto Q autos from Trundle, and you are losing most of your health bar if you're almost anyone on the side of Cloud9. And even if you're Mundo, if Mundo is in melee range with Trundle, Trundle is going to win. Because Trundle Q, not only does it make his auto attacks hit harder, but it also steals AD from the opponent, and that will absolutely hurt Mundo. Now, I would love to see Tabbies being picked up from a lot of the members of Cloud9, because I think, if I'm reading the way this was changed correctly, I think Tabbies will now apply to damage reduction on both Trundle Q and Victor Q empowered auto. Because they changed Tabbies so that it now affects empowered auto attack abilities.
That's interesting.
Yeah. And I'm pretty sure that's how Victor works. Shout out to Hubby Ouroboros. Kick ass. Alright, and we are going to be able to get into the game here as soon as I change the slide correctly. Oh, and I can change... Oh, I don't have the right background in. Crap. Let me see if I can pull it in real quick.
It's some interesting tech while you're pulling that up. I don't know how I feel about the Conqueror Mundo. That's... I guess I can see where it's coming from. Wouldn't have been the keystone I was expecting by any means, but definitely interesting to say the least.
Yeah, absolutely. And okay, there we go. I did it. I got the right thing. Are you at 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31?
We are on cue, and it looks like Cloud9 learning their lesson from the last game, walking in as a group as opposed to the split off there from Altazi, and we're going to see a whole lot of nothing here, most likely.
Yeah, I mean, we did see Swag picking up that phone, Corporate Mundo, one of the best skins in the game.
Oh, for sure.
Along with Pizza Delivery Sivir.
Oh, wait a minute.
Now, I'm not entirely... Oh, this is so interesting. So they're coming back to buff, but they're going for the late invade. They're likely going to meet on this side brush. They are going to be spotted out here. Briefcase number 1 is going to land, but Dark Binding does manage to hit. Q going down. Tomahawks goes very low. He's going to be forced to back away, but doesn't have to flash just yet. Swag side going to be taken out for first blood, but Pachatory forced to flash away. The Ignite is ticking, but it is not quite going to find the troll. Meanwhile, I'm a Moose going very low. One going to go down, though. Now Ouroboros going to be in trouble, but so is somebody you don't know. That's 2. Can they get the last trade? Flash forward, way too large, but the heal going down is going to keep him alive. Blabble now potentially going to be in trouble, forced to flash away. Binding is going to hit. They're going to trade 2 versus 3. 3, and now Way Too Large finds themselves alone with an 80 carry, and auto attacks are king at level 1. 4 kills for the Raging Ace Souls.
What a fun start to the game there. It's interesting to note that despite the fact that the kills were 2 to 4, Veigar was able to pick up both of those kills, so they're going to actually be coming to lane with a Dark Seal right off the bat, and probably some solid stacks there on their, I believe it's Phenomenal Evil. So definitely not the worst thing in the world, despite kind of how disastrous that start could have been for Cloud9.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it will be interesting to see how this mid lane matchup goes. Veigar not gonna, catapult to an unstoppable level off of the Dark Seal, but certainly not going to be, the easiest to deal with. Meanwhile, we do have an amplifying tome here for NyQuil Coldkilla, going to help them get that magic damage. Actually, that could be somewhat game-changing in that Morgana shield, right? You've got... It's a magic damage shield, and if you do enough magic damage, the shield goes away. If Lux E is strong enough to pop Morg shield, that could be very dangerous, because you can think you're safe with the black shield, and then all of a sudden it's gone, and Lux Binding is hitting you.
Gonna have to see if Coldkilla is practiced enough to set those plays up. I mean, it could for sure be a major impact here, as I fully expect the Kai'Sa Lux to be shoving in here for quite a while, harassing under turret. Sivir's no victim to, no stranger to that scenario.
Yeah, just gonna be looking to get those pepperonis, stack them up high, buy those items, and then throw those ricochets throughout the whole team fight. That will be the Sivir game plan. Meanwhile, we do see Pachitory pathing bot here, so perhaps looking for Blabble or someone you don't know. Could also look mid for Way Too Large. Now, if I'm Swag Sidon here, I am licking my lips at Lux, because she already has a shutdown. That's 450 gold if you get that kill right there. And that is a good chunk for junglers who, we need our income and our experience. We're missing it.
Can't get it from your camp, so gotta head to other lanes and capitalize where you can.
Yeah, Riot, you wanna make us gank less? Give us money in the jungle back. And experience. Actually, just give us experience. I just don't wanna... It's so sad as a jungler when you're just never able to 1v1 a solo laner. Just ever. Obviously, that's not a hard and fast rule. We do see Way Too Large being the target of the gank here. Gonna be slowed down, but won't be caught up. But that auto Pachitory is gonna be able to pick up Way Too Large.
Yeah, just that slow there from the Victor W. Didn't need to hit the stun, just needed to slow him down for Trundle, who's already slowing him down with the pillar. Definitely just well played there.
Yeah, and that's exactly what you want to do as Trundle. You just want to pick up those early kills using that pillar. I know one Mr. Ruffian believes firmly that Trundle Pillar is the most broken non-ultimate ability in the game.
I mean, it just requires such a high level of precision as hold that thought. Good dodge there from Moose.
My favorite thing is Trundle Pillar. If you have an Akshan, just let him go helicopter mode in the mid lane. Campsada had a Hecarim the other day who ganked once. Yeah, that's not great. Not ideal, to be honest. You still got to gank.
There's a good thing to be said about moderation.
Yeah, moderation in all things, chat. Moderation in all things. Okay, so we got 5 kills on the board, but 4 of the... Oh, wait. All of the kills except for the Veigar kill were from the level 1, right?
Yeah. Yep.
Okay, so let's take stock. We do have Dragon on the map. Herald not up for another 2 minutes. Now, this is a period of time where threatening drag is very strong, because a lot of the times in mid-game, if you threaten drag, the team that's more scaling can just say, oh, okay, we'll go take Herald. And they're fine with that. You can get a gold injection to someone who just really needs it, put it on your Veigar, get them towards their Mythic faster, what have you. Put it on Gnar so that he's more, beefy and able to engage when he comes to that. Quick question. Do you know the build path for Iceborne Gauntlet? And is it Sheen Kindle Gem?
Yeah, I believe that it is Sheen, Kindle Gem, and I couldn't tell you the third item. Those were the two that I could recall off the top of my head, but that does look like we're going to be seeing an Iceborne Gauntlet first item from the Malphite.
Okay, because to be honest, when I saw those two items, as someone who plays a lot of Sunderer champs, my brain went, "Why is Malphite building Sunderer?" I was doing quite a bit of damage here onto the Moose. Or
Maybe
a
Ouroboros
Moose?
does something we don't know.
Maybe Sunderer Malphite is the technology. I mean, you certainly do have that auto reset on your W, does quite a bit of damage. Yeah, who knows? We'll just have to see what they're cooking. Victor build not far enough yet down the tree to where we can start criticizing it. Tomahawks, if you do end up listening to this, when we criticize your build, it's not necessarily because we think you're doing something wrong. It's just here at the low budget LCS, we have a belief that no one can build Victor correctly. It is an impossible task. Ooh, Tomahawks on the receiving end of Swag's side, but is able to use the ultimate, forced to flash away. Now here comes Pachatory, though. Swag's side going to be trapped between a rock and a hard place. Tomahawk's going to be able to pick that one up.
Tomahawk's buying just enough time there for Pachatory to come up after killing the Scuttle and walking towards bot lane a little bit. That looks like it's going to be a pretty early first dragon, and yeah, definitely a solid start here for ASouls. They weren't able to get a ton after getting those 4 kills in the first minute and a half, but they picked up a couple kills here, get the first dragon, and I would assume we'd see Trundle head right up towards Rift after getting level 6.
Likely, yeah. Wants to cut that off. Ooh, way too large. He's going to get stunned up here. Tomahawks doesn't have the most health, though, so isn't quite able to return. Ooh, tons of damage going forward. Primordial Burst is going to be stopped by the stopwatch, and now Pachatory is on the little evil Yordle.
Just forgot to hit tab there, checking the items on Victor. That what's called perfectly timed stopwatch. Ooh.
Okay, Moose finding a big slam into the wall, but Ouroboros, not to be outdone, has some damage of their own and does still have the ultimate available. I Am Moose going to be knocked up while they're stunned at the same time. Boulder going forward, and the auto will finish it off. Ouroboros not quite able to flash out of range there, and I Am Moose fighting a solo kill.
And that's what you needed. You needed a lane that could kind of create a lead for themselves, able to get that solo kill here early on for I Am a Moose, and hopefully for Cloud9, they're able to maybe lean into the Snar a little bit as the game goes on.
Yep. Pachatory gonna look to do damage here. He's half health, but does hurt quite a bit. I mean, you just love, as a Trundle here, seeing it's a Mundo, because that is a champ that you could just bonk. Like, as Trundle, you want these tanks that you can just hit freely and forever. You know, helps. Ooh, sorry, Blabble going in, using that ultimate is not going to find the route ultimately as Flash, Heal, and Ignite used for the side of Raging ASouls down to the bottom lane. Just the Ignite of Blabble there. Good play from Morgana, but not ultimately going to end up as a kill.
Yeah, I think if someone was a little healthier there before the Morgana binding hit, I think you could have seen Blabble go a little more aggressive, maybe flash after the Kaisa, but someone was only at about like 25% health, so it was probably going to be a trade at best.
Can I get a stack check?
The Phenomenal Evil, 93.
93 ability power here for the Vygar. Way too large, just going to be stacking that one up. Ooh, hang on, ultimate going down here. Primordial Burst not going to do enough, and Tomahawks finds themselves a solo.
Yeah, unlike the Senna though, I have no earthly idea what a good pace for Veigar stacks are. So someone in chat might have to give an assist there.
I think being about 100 right now is pretty good. I mean, you get 1 whenever you hit a champion with an ability, and you get 1 whenever you farm a minion with your Q. Being that he only has 85 farm, that means he's, hit a champion like 14 times and hit all of his farm. So I think that's pretty darn good. So Excited now going in with the Black Shield, looking to do the damage, but Homicidiac and Nightglow Cold Killer are going to be quite healthy here. Not quite so healthy after the Sivir Q flies right on over the top, along with a briefcase, but still.
It's a good gank, burn another flash, and that should relieve a lot of the pressure that someone you don't know is kind of been under this game, who's actually farming pretty well despite kind of how that level 1 went with Lux getting a pair of kills.
Yeah, the Amp Tome diff has not really bared out in these items. We do actually see the Morgana has been able to finish her support item here. Ahead of the... Oh, Lux just ticked over there. But, yeah, so ultimately didn't quite bear out to any significant difference in that particular lane. Now, Pashatory looking to do damage up onto the Moose, but the Moose is able to just hop over that pillar and walk away to safety. But Pashatory did pick up the Herald. God, I wish they would change it so that Spectator made a little announcement when they pick up the Herald, because it does it for Dragon. But meanwhile, Moose forced to flash away. Ouroboros going on with the Unstoppable Force! And that is going to be a dead Ixtalian creature. Meanwhile, solo kill found there for Blabble, but will probably die here. Homicidiac using the ultimate to go forward. Vrazen trying to flash away to stay alive. Just not quite able to get outside of vision there.
No, the director cam didn't quite show us there if Morgana was intentionally. I guess I'll hold that thought. Full CC.
Yeah, Homicidiac just going to be solo down. Meanwhile, though, way too large. Also going to find a solo kill, but will trade back immediately. The Chaos Storm just going to tick around. You know, you look over to read chat for 1 second, and the whole map starts fighting. These two teams. I want to see another 2.5 minute behind bot tower fight. Can we get another one of those?
That was honestly probably one of the most fun sequences I've seen in my time with the low-budget LCS. Just absolutely nowhere to go. Can't go backwards. Can't go forwards.
Yeah, just oh, you respawn. The fight's still going. Walk to the fight. Just keep walking to the fight. Never stop. You see, Trundle will get rooted up there. Pillar is available, but they're looking to do the damage. Ignite goes down. Meanwhile, Spike side and forced to fight Ouroboros in the back end. Does not have the Unstoppable Force for this fight. I'm not sure if they know that. Lux ult going to go over the top. Not quite going to be able to hit as they do effectively kite up towards this rock. Now Homicidiac will do the damage, but they find the shutdown onto the Trundle in the back end, and way too large puts him in the cage. They find 2 ahead of this Dragon, and that is going to mean Dragon should be free for Cloud9 here, barring any unforeseen circumstances.
Mundo is pretty low though, so he's currently channeling his base. Not sure. Ooh, close there on Cold Killer. Just
yeah, Brazen Playable looking to do the damage, but they get got instead. And these are those unforeseen circumstances we were talking about. Way too large, forcing to waddle away so much damage here coming over. Tomahawk's just able to repeatedly use that. He is going to get stunned up here. Somebody you know though still forced to run for the hills. And that means we're likely going to see a second fight for the Dragon. Tomahawk's flashing forward, wants to find somebody you don't know. Somebody you don't know flashing away.
Quite a lot going down there. That entire time, though, I'm a Moose in the top lane, able to sit by themselves and look like they picked up 4 turret plates there in total on the top side. So, could be a pretty strong Nard here. So that's
going to be quite the cash injection for our little rascal in the top lane. Meanwhile, red team does manage to pick up the Dragon, trade a kill in that skirmish, but Pashatory's looking for more. He uses the ult on Swagsidon. Oh, meanwhile, I Am Moose mid-air finds a slam into the wall. Now Ouroboros, though, looking to do the damage. Jack does have the Unstoppable Force. Moose has to be careful here. Who's going to be able to find enough damage? Goes bonked up, and that is going to be Ouroboros taking him down with the Spellblade proc. Meanwhile, Pashatory looking to do the pillar, looking to find the chomp, and they're going to do it. Yo.
Just a little unlucky there. Blab trying their best to...
Trundle looks good. I get to play Trundle again. Ha Let's go.
Yeah, like you said, he's got that Sunder, and he's kind of wrecking havoc at this point. Already has 7 KP here, about 15 minutes in. Certainly putting on a strong performance here. Pashatory is in both games.
Yeah, absolutely. Tomahawk, also a very strong performer. Ouroboros still finding those solo kills, no matter the situation. Now, Way Too Large has died a lot, but Way Too Large has also killed a lot. Gold bed even between these two mid laners. So, how long do we think before the Veigar passive really starts to matter here?
I think you're still going to need a little bit of time here. I mean, he's able to get that Everfrost, but I really feel like Veigar kind of once you get to like that 2-ish item power spike, definitely at that point he'll be able to really have that full 100-0 threat on pretty much anybody outside of the Malphite and the Trundle if he's able to catch him out as the game goes on. We are far enough into the game now though where we do have an item coming out from the Victor. So what are your thoughts on that Liandry's there?
So the Victor chose to go Liandry's Anguish, probably because Dr. Mundo is on the enemy team. And chat, feel free to make your comments known about the Victor build as well. It's a tradition. But, you already have the Trundle, who's going to be doing so much percent max health damage, and really just, loves stacking their lethal tempo on the Mundo. So if you kill him too fast, you're actually depriving your teammate of welcome attack speed. And additionally, on top of that, even though you have this lead, you have been solo killed a couple of times by Way Too Large due to the burst nature of the Vygar. So maybe something like Crown of the Shattered Queen. Meanwhile, Swagsidon is going to talk, trapped with the pillar, and 3 members will collapse instantly. Subjugate not even needed as the Chaos Storm is going to tick down and help kill the Mad Main with a saw. Okay, fan theory. Dr. Mundo, you watched Arcane?
Yeah.
Okay, good damage going down to someone you don't know, but will end up just being able to shrug that one off. So Dr. Mundo's lore is that he just kind of woke up, found a bone saw, and thought, I must be a surgeon. I think. Please correct me in the chat if I'm wrong. I think that's his lore. Or maybe that's his old lore. I know they did a whole lore rework. That's really going to date me, because they did the lore rework a while ago. But fan theory is that, so the prison that Vi was in is, where Dr. Mundo woke up from. I want to see Dr. Mundo in Arcane Season 2, is what I'm saying. Moose is going to be throwing Ouroboros back, but not going to find him quite up against the wall. Look to do the damage with the Turning Force, but that unstoppable force in melee range is absolutely undodgeable. And the Moose is going to get turned into roadkill one more time.
Yeah, just every time Gnar is dying up there, it's the trade's looking good. He hits the ultimate onto Ouroboros, but then Ouroboros still has the Malphite R, so he soaks up all that damage, and then by the time Gnar's exiting its Mega Form, just gets really squishy at that point.
Yeah, and Ouroboros, we previously praised Moose for picking up those top lane turret plates, but Ouroboros has consumed every single one of them available. That is going to be one tanky boy come team fight time. Nyquil Cold Killer getting taken very low, though. They're going to have to walk away for fear of getting hit by another skill shot. Ooh, flash forward. Chaos Storm is going to be used. The trade not quite going to be able to found, but the briefcase on the backside. Swagsidon will redeem the play and shut down the Victor.
Yeah, way too large there with the alley-oop for Swagsidon on the Mundo. Set him up just perfectly for one. Is it a briefcase or is it a phone that he throws at him? I think it's a briefcase.
I think it's a briefcase. Yeah. Ooh, Ouroboros down here now. Unstoppable Force is available. Blabble just going to be deleted. Now someone you don't know going to be forced to run away. Manages to spell shield the ultimate so they get to live another day. I Am Moose able to stun up 2 into the wall. And that is pretty ideal. You lose 1, but for the amount of firepower they brought to this bot lane, it is not that awful.
No, that went a lot better than I thought it did. When I saw the teleport coming through and it was going to be a 2v3 at best, I thought we were going to be seeing a quick trip to base for I Am a Moose, but really good R there. Saves someone you don't know, saves himself. And they do give up the dragon, but I think they were probably going to be giving that up regardless.
Yep. Drake just going to go over 3 Drakes now into the pocket of the Raging Aesouls. 3 Drakes, 3,000 gold. And I want to say 3 turret plates, but they've taken quite a bit more than 3 turret plates. I just like the rule of 3s. Okay, Wolf getting into the spirit. Imagine building Shadow Flame into just 1 shield. Show me the second item, Death Cap. Way Too Large knows where the build's at. You get that second item, Death Cap. Also, why not build a Zonia's? You've got the broken stopwatch, It's a free discount. Brazen Blabble looking to go in, not going to use the ultimate though. Also, Tomahawk, you are doing a great job. Don't listen to us about your Victor build. Ooh, way too large. Going to be in a little bit of trouble here, but able to flash over that wall. Cage stuns up. Pachatory means they are going to live to fight another day.
Yeah, it's important to know that it's not you, it's Victor. Just
Yeah.
roll the chant.
100%. It's like if you play Yuumi, people are gonna moan, right? It's just, it comes with the territory.
For sure.
Oh, this mid turret is gonna get incredibly low. 1 Q from Pachatory should just take that one down. Pillar will be available. Blabble gonna be on the target of that one, forced to flash over, but will find the root follow-up. Event Horizon going to go down, Unstoppable Force going down, but you are underneath the turret. Pachatory going to go incredibly low, but able to get away. Now Ouroboros running, but Swag side and using that Ghost, trying to catch up. Using the ultimate, moving so fast, but it's just, maybe it is enough. I maybe spoke too soon. Gravity Field going to do a little bit. Chaos Storm going to be used to dissuade further assault by the Madman with the Cleavers.
And Pachatory is on point with these pillars. I mean, he caught that Mundo up by the Rift Herald in that pixel perfect spot. He catches Morgana there, forces the flash. Obviously, the play kind of ends up amounting to nothing on either side, but man, I gotta shout out some really good Trundle gameplay when I see it.
Yeah, absolutely. Beautiful pillar usage, cutting people off, forcing them to burn summoners. Really, really good here for Pachatory. Okay, I'm going to ask you the question, TM. If you are on Cloud 9, how are you getting back into this game? Are you turtling hard? Are you fighting this next Drake, or are you not?
I think it's hard to just give up. Anytime you're trying to make the call to just give up soul entirely, I think is really tough. I mean, you're down about 5,000, which is really kind of at that point where you have to ask yourself if you can find a way to fight this next dragon. I think you have to try. I think you have to try and set up I mean, you have a lot of combo CCs here with the Veigar, with the Morgana. I think you try to look and set up a play, maybe get a numbers advantage and force the dragon that way. That would kind of be what I would suggest. I think it's hard to just give up this Dragon Soul here.
Yeah, really tough, especially when, Pachatory especially will absolutely love this new Chemtech Drake passive. You heal more and deal more damage while you're low. Well, he's going to be running into the middle of your team anyway. Ooh, Tomahawk might be getting found out by Moose here. He's forced to flash away, uses Gravity Heal, but Moose is able to hop over. Narbar is building up right here. Chaos Storm going to be used. Will Tomahawks die in time? Nar goes big. Nar slams him into the wall, but the Chaos Storm is doing so much damage. Moose forced to flash away, but now Pachatory is coming in from the other side with Ouroboros. Unstoppable Force is available.
Really good pick there. I mean, it's the little before
way too
another
large.
one.
Able to find the root, able to find the damage! And that troll goes from 100 to 0 in 2 seconds flat.
Now it looks like they're opting to push instead of going for a Baron. Interesting call. I mean, but that's exactly what I was saying. Get these picks with the Veigar, with the Morgana. They got about a minute here, and that's going to be a pretty big infusion of gold here. And they're not done.
Yeah, they're not done. They are going to look for it. And way too large is going to do so much damage to turrets with these autos. Oh, Ouroboros from the backside. Oh, Spell Shield able to come out from Some You Don't Know and immune by Swagsiden's passive. Absolutely critical there that Malphite did not find it. I do see
nice
the Tomahawk facts in the chat. He bathes in the blood of his enemies. I get it. Tomahawk, though, might be in a little bit of trouble here. Is going to force to dance around inside of that cage, but Ouroboros coming over the side is going to be able to find the enemy. Literally, there's so much damage here coming out from Malphite, Swag side, and the Tomahawks in the back end. As Ouroboros chases down Something You Don't Know, looking to do the damage, does have that Kraken Slayer. One more auto is going to be able to do it, but Homosadiac able to ult to the back line. Ooh, shield coming out here as Moose is going to fall. Somebody You Know also going to fall on the back end. And what was a winning position, at least from that last fight, turns into just Blabble being alive. Can they find the steal? They're not going to be able to be there in time.
Yeah, I mean, it's easy to say in hindsight, but I think you had those really good picks. You got the mid tower, and you drew the gold lead to about 3,000 there. I think that's a spot where Cloud9 could have recalled, spent that gold, and really kind of set themselves up to contest the soul. But they stayed on the map. got a little bit separated, and now that's going to be Soul and the Baron for Raging Ace Souls.
Yeah. Going to be quite an uphill battle. All the stats that the Raging Ace Souls are going to have, especially after this recall. Titanic finished off for Pashatori here, as is the Sunder. Looks like they're going for a Blade of the Ruined King next. Let's see what else that Vampiric Scepter would be building into. As Victor is building that Death Cap. Blighting Jewel now available for the Vygar, so able to get through some of the MR, maybe on the Malphite here. Give me a stack check. How are we doing?
Vagar, we are sitting at 225. Feel like he was at what, about 93 10 minutes in, so
Yeah.
kind of tapered off a little bit.
Yeah, it has been a little bit more difficult. There's been quite a lot of pressure sent towards Way Too Large specifically. I do love the dichotomy of Tomahawk is a gracious god, and Tomahawk only knows 2 facts about ducks. Both of them are wrong. Lessforce, what are your best incorrect facts about ducks?
Man, I don't even know if I know one fact about ducks. I mean, if we're talking about incorrect, I can't even think of an incorrect guess. I've really let you down here. Can't think of something ridiculous enough to try and guess here. But no, I mean, Tomahawk clearly has a lot of fanfare in the chat, and most of the chat has just been hyping this guy up. I mean, so far in this series, I mean, this is, I believe, my first time seeing that name. Maybe his first. Yes, I mean, he's kind of putting on a big show here, week 1.
Yeah, absolutely. I know those duck facts, Campsada. I know those duck facts. Listen, we don't need to talk about those duck facts. We talk about fun duck facts. Ouroboros forced to ult over the wall, but I Am Moose doesn't want to let him go that easy. They are alone here, as some of you don't know, is also alone underneath this tier 2 minute. Turret. Minute. Now they're coming to maybe look behind. Pillar going to be used. Ouroboros going forward. Not going to find too much here. Luxalt does some damage over the top. Okay, that's not going to turn into too much. Which is going to be okay. Way Too Large on the flank. Going to keep themselves safe using that Event Horizon. Now, Unstoppable Force not quite available. Pashatori is here on the side. Swag is going to have to be careful. They are going to get rooted up as their passive was already popped from the pillar. But they're able to be quite healthy. Luxalt goes over the top. Moose goes in, but is not Mega, and that is going to be dead Moose. But I will say, Cloud9 are doing a good job holding off this assault.
Yeah, I mean, this is a really difficult state of the game to be playing from. And I mean, so far they've given up that one tower mid. They're potentially going to give up this tower here, but if that's all you're giving up...
Unstoppable Force going in. That is going to be a dead Yordle. That is going to be challenging. Yeah, just a little bit, but hey, that's how you know you got it. You know? If you're casting and you say something and then the opposite happens, that just means you're a good caster. That's all that means. They are going to be forced to walk away. Nightcrow, Cold Killer, and Tomahawks just getting a little bit low. Now I wonder, is Tomahawks like the axe, the little throwing axe, or is Tomahawks the stake? Like, what's the origin here for the name? I want to know.
I mean, I would guess that he's talking about, you know, the old timey axe. You know, this guy's seems to be a bit of a killer. I don't know, though, maybe one of these fans in the chat could maybe give us some intel here. Or maybe it's something
False
different
says
altogether.
it's the axe, yeah. Yeah, I think so. But, okay, you could also... I mean, he is chowing down in the mid lane, right? Like, there is an allegory to be made between steaks, you know, being a voracious carnivore. God, I do love steak. And, you know, a nice steak, you dry brine it in the fridge for a little while. If you're really going for it, you dry age it. You know, let it sit there. Take off that pellicle. Salt it, maybe a little MSG. Reverse sear it. We are going to see a fight break out here. Way too large. Flashing forward to find the event horizon. Patchator can be caught up. Ouroboros using the unstoppable force, but the rest of the team cannot quite find the damage to go over the top. But Ouroboros doesn't care. They do damage themselves. Way too large uses the primordial burst to try and kill Patchator, but Patchator is so healthy. So much damage reduction from that soul. Now Homicidiac going on into the back line, and Swag Sidon will be left alone as a triple kill is found for the quadra kill. My bad.
And that's probably going to do it. They were briefly looking like they were going to wait around for Elder, but no need to when the base is pretty open at this point. Really good series here from the ASOLs. I know this was a team that actually got waitlisted in. You know, they took the opportunity when it came up, and they definitely seem to be making the most of that here with a pretty convincing 2-0 series here.
Yeah, they are raring and ready to go. And it almost seems for certain, with 6 seconds left on the Morgana, that the Raging ASOLs are going to be able to take this one out. 11k is the goal difference at the end of it all. Raging ASOLs find their win in Commercial Group B. Do we want to do interviews?
I'm always down for the interviews. Pick the minds of somebody on Raging ASOLs if they'd like.
Yeah. Okay. If Raging ASOLs are listening, if you want to send someone for interview into one of the channels, we can pull them up. As I know a lot of you probably have Clash to get to. But if you want to, you know, we would be happy to. And yeah, I mean, obviously top damage on the Victor there. A really great performance on both this sort of assassin play style and this control mage play style. You know, showing that they're a player that has versatility as well as, you know, pocket picks.
No, that's for sure the sign of a great mid laner. You can be a good mid laner if you can do one or the other, but to really, you know, elevate yourself towards that top level, you got to be able to do both. And Tomahawk certainly seems to be able to do both, as it looks like we do have a representative in community.
Welcome, Ouroboros, the snake that eats the world. I'm sad you didn't play Cassiopeia, but that's all right. Welcome to broadcast. Just give us some of your thoughts after that last game.
After the last one, it was pretty good. Mundo's just kind of annoying to deal with a lot of the time. I feel like an idiot because I screwed up the fight against the 1v1 against Gnar early on. So I just had to like kind of get back in it a little bit and then win all the 1v1s after that. But yeah, I think they had kind of a strange draft because really all they had, the only thing they could do is either just walk at us with Sivir ult or hope that they could find like a weird Gnar engage. And I think our comp was really like set up to deal with that. We had a lot of ways to like just kind of poke them out or just keep them off. And then if they overextended, then I could just ult the back line.
Yeah. I mean, we were just praising Tomahawk for this, but I would say this absolutely applies to you as well. You had two absolutely excellent games on two sort of different play styles of champions. You know, obviously first game you're on the Rumble, it's more DPS. What were you looking at flexing the Trundle top at all in game 2, or were you just really saving that R5 for you top lane? And what sort of goes into your champion picking process? Is this, you know, a sort of small champ pool for you? Are you like Rumble Malphite, that's like what you do, or were you, you know, reaching deeper into it? What was that selection process like for you?
So yeah, game 2, we were definitely talking about flexing the Trundle if we needed to. Once we saw the Mundo, we kind of just pivoted into that because it also kind of lines up with the sort of disengagey type of thing. And then it also, I feel bad because we had the weird bug kind of pillar against the Mundo at one point where it literally just trapped him so he couldn't move. But, you know, that's how it goes sometimes. As far as like for me with champ select stuff, I guess I'm kind of an ARAM main, like jokingly anyway. But so I I feel like I can play a lot of different stuff. Obviously, it's hard to get like a perfect read on like how strong we feel we are and all that, just because of the nature of how the enemy team like drafts and lines up and stuff like that. But yeah, I feel like I tend to take like a more fill approach with what the team needs. So we kind of go in with an idea, and then if we need more DPS, if we need tanks, like I feel like I've got stuff to pull out in any of those situations. But yeah. Oh, yeah, true. Sorry, Patch. That is a skill pillar, not a bug.
All right.
I've got a quick question here from Chad is dying to know. They were looking to hear from Tomahawks, but on his behalf or their behalf, can you give us a fun fact about Tomahawks, who had a pretty crazy series there? There were a lot of potential misinformation being spread in chat.
All right, there is a fun fact I could share, but I'm not going to because I think he knows what it would be. But it's sort of a meme because Tomahawks and I are actually friends in real life. We've known each other for a really long time. But he's actually an ADC main, funnily enough. And when we were kind of trying to put together a roster, it just kind of shook out that he took mid, but that was sort of his secondary role. But yeah, if you think he's good in mid, then just look out because his ADC is insane.
Oh, okay. Well, I mean, do you have any other questions, Last Force?
Yeah, I mean, I guess I'll actually also quick ask about with that Malphite counterpick. That was kind of something we were talking about during the spectator delay while we were waiting for the game to load up. Typically not what you see picked as like a counter. You typically save that for something that's like a strong answer, more of like a carry type threat. So I guess I'm assuming I think you're the captain of the squad. What was like the thought process there for Malphite?
So there's kind of a couple things. So into the Gnar matchup, you can like WMAX is kind of the popular thing right now because of the buffs that he got. But against Gnar, you can still just do the Qmax with Comet and poke him down early, and then look for all-ins. But Malphite's kind of gone through like a cycle with his like pickability where a little while ago, I can't remember exactly how long, he was so strong that like you just could pick him into anything and it didn't matter because he could just spam Q and kill somebody. And then with the buffs he got recently, it kind of feels similar, but you can just max W and kill anybody. So yeah, for lane, I think it was strong. And then for later on, it was a way to hard engage on the Vigar or the backline through the cage. So if they were trying to play defensive, I could just ult through it really. But yeah, so it was kind of the thought process there.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Alrighty. Now, were you at any point considering building Divine Sunderer?
I was not, unfortunately. Yeah, I was not. I was actually I sat in base after like one of the first backs, like even just trying to decide if I should build Sheen because it's hard to like use it on the Gnar, and then I just was sitting there too long, so I just bought it and ran back to lane anyway. So, but yeah, I wasn't really thinking about the Sunderer. Mostly, I just needed to soak damage later and kind of keep the backline busy, and then I got big enough that I could do that and kind of stop the Vigar and kind of had mixed resists like in the build, so I just could kind of tank a bunch from everybody and let carries carry. So
nice. All right. Well, with that, anyone you want to shout out? Anyone who came out to support you? Coaches, auxiliary players, etc.
Let's see. Patch. I'm going to thank Patchatory first because we had our original jungler had like some big technical issues, so they weren't able to play. And then last minute, Patch, one of our subs, hopped in, so we were still able to make it work. So thanks, Patch. And then let's see. Oh, TJN or Ness. Fuck you. And then so he's a teammate. He's a teammate, but he knows what he did. But yeah, just thanks to the team. Everybody was super chill. Everybody like is really good at keeping up morale and all that stuff. So love all them, and yeah, that's really it.
Alrighty. Well, with that, I'm gonna thank everybody for joining us here at the Low Budget LCS on a Sunday afternoon. And Last Force, if you want to take us out with that classic sign-off phrase.
Classic sign-off phrase. As a former Team Volatility member, always signed off his nights with, I will just say, Godspeed in the words of Winston Churchill.